Hello, this is Rob Shimshock with the Rebel Media, and today I'm here with Martha Ruiz, who is Vice Chair for the DC Young Republicans. So, one question I had about Dr. Gorka's speech, at the beginning he referenced Donald Trump as both a public and a private individual, and how he was the same in both atmospheres. So what do you think of that characterization? Do you think the president really is exactly the same from public to private?
Yes, he's exactly the same. I mean, everything that he says on TV is the same thing, except that, you have later on the fake news media twisting every single word that he says, just because, they just don't like what he says, and it's simply the fact that, they're liberals and they're too media biased and so on. So obviously, Donald Trump is the person who he is as he addresses, and so you have to take him the way he talks. You cannot, twist or tergiversar, like we say, in Spanish, right? You cannot do that. He's honest and all that. So yes, he's the same person.
What do you think has been the president's greatest accomplishment? Oftentimes, Dr. Gorka was saying that a lot of people are anticipating the wall being built. That's something to look forward to, perhaps. But what do you think thus far has been the president's greatest accomplishment?
He said that we were going to get a tax reform, and we actually did. Even me in my paycheck on January, I saw more money in my paycheck. I saw more money where I can use it, to give it to my retirement. And so, a lot of Americans, probably they're going to do the same thing and so on. So he did as he promised. With immigration reform that you mentioned earlier, like the border, the wall, he's going to do the same thing. And he even did to the extent that he's making a compromise with, he's pleasing even Democrats so that he can, fulfill his promise on building the wall, which is something that, a lot of us Republicans, we would like as well.
Trump, I think, really is a unique candidate, many would say, because of his aversion to political correctness and his absolute refusal to, abide by the left's language policing. So in what sense do you think his uniqueness as a cultural candidate, refusing to adopt those same, limiting standards that the left wants to abide by, has propelled him so far to the presidency?
Well, at the end of the day, he wants a country that is open to everybody, but at the same time, you have to follow laws. It's more than culture. It's about, morality. A topic that I really like is immigration. It's a topic I really like. And so, you have other countries which have very strict immigration reform, like the Dominican Republic, I can say Colombia, Mexico, and so on. Donald Trump has been talking about this more than a cultural, but actually in a moral perspective. And so, sadly, we have this media bias that even when I was in Puerto Rico, I wasn't aware until I moved here that, the media is very biased and just, they're just like averted into the Republican values. They don't want to see things objectively. They just want to see things, through their own perspective. They don't have the tolerance, or they're not open of, hearing other ideas. So it's, for me, it is, and even Puerto Rico, we have dealt with the same issue of immigration. And many people back home, we have the same thought or the same opinion about immigration. We want, Dominicans to come to Puerto Rico legally rather than just, crossing, like getting in a jola and then ending up in our island. It's not that we don't want them, just do it legally.
If you like this video and support our mission, please make sure to comment and subscribe. If something happens on your campus and you'd like us to investigate, send us details using the form on campusunmasked.com.